Virginia-class nuclear submarines, a worthy response to Russians, or... It seems that the principle, who owns the sea owns the world, is still relevant today. The ocean is now the medium through which it's most convenient to move strategic military forces and from which to launch strategic strikes. Proof of this is 10 U.S. airstrike groups roaming the world's oceans and dozens of nuclear submarines ready to deliver a lethal thermonuclear strike from the water column. Russia is also trying to keep up, and if Putin's plans for aircraft carriers are very vague, then his plans for submarines are very good. And as proof of that, the Army received the Belgorod nuclear submarine, armed with 6 to 8 Poseidon nuclear attack drones with thermonuclear warheads on board. They can travel hundreds of miles covertly at depths up to 0.6 miles and explode off the U.S. coast, unleashing a radioactive tsunami on the country, sweeping away everything in their path dozens of miles away. What can be countered by such a terrible weapon of the Russians? Meet the Project Virginia nuclear attack submarines. These fourth-generation submarines are tasked with conducting independent operations against enemy submarines and surface ships, strikes against ground targets using sea-based cruise missiles, providing anti-submarine defense for warships and convoys, fighting on communications to hinder enemy shipping, and conducting covert special operations, including in shallow water areas. One of the main purposes of such submarine warfare will be the search for strategic underwater missile carriers of the probable enemy, so they can be called killers of Russian nuclear-powered cruisers, in particular the Belgorod. Or they're not worthy of this honorary title? Let's get to the bottom of this. The development of the Virginia class of boats, right after the Seawolf class, which was to replace the Los Angeles class, and whose lead ship was put into service in July 1997, may seem a bit strange. But it's all about the changing geopolitical situation. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and a precipitous drop in the combat capabilities of the Russian Navy, Seawolf submarines became a kind of relic of the Cold War. Their main objective, search, track, and destroy submarines of the Russian Navy, to a great extent became less of a priority. The U.S. could now afford less costly solutions to maintain its hegemony in the world. That's why in 1991, the model of the new nuclear submarine was approved and the requirements for its technical characteristics were worked out. General Dynamics, Electric Boat, and Huntington Ingalls Industries were commissioned to build the light version of Seawolf. The lead Virginia SSN-774 entered service in 2004. The U.S. Navy currently has 21 Virginia-type submarines. The most recent is Montana, which was commissioned on June 25, 2022. A total of 38 submarines of this class are planned for construction. 34 have been given names. The last one is Silversides, ordinal number SSN-807. The last Virginia-class submarine will be numbered SSN-811. So what is the light version of Seawolf? The basic technical specifications are hull length of about 113 meters, beam 10.2 meters, and a submerged displacement of 7,300 tons, which is less than that of the submarine Seawolf, which has 9,137 tons. The boat has a classical U.S. submarine hull layout. The bow and stern fairings feature main ballast tanks. Virginia is very similar to Los Angeles in hull layout. The difference is the presence of an underwater sabotage exit chamber. The hull is divided into 4 compartments. On the hull is applied a special hydroacoustic coating. The power plant is an S9G nuclear reactor. It has a thermal capacity of 210 megawatts. The reactor will be able to work without refueling for 33 years. The boat is to be operated for the same period. In other words, for the first time in the world's practice, the reactor does not require refueling during the whole life cycle of the ship, from construction to decommissioning. The propeller shaft is rotated by 2 turbines. This scheme is classic for all U.S. boats. The power of the turbines is 40,000 horsepower. The propulsion of this boat is a water jet. Such propulsion, together with the coating, will provide a noise level lower than that of the Russian boats of the 4th generation of the Project 971 Shuka-B, or according to NATO classification, Akula. Now for the main thing, the armament. There are 3 types of armament: missile, mine torpedoes, and hydroacoustic. The missile systems are presented by the subsonic cruise missiles Tomahawk placed in the vertical launchers. The boat has 12 launchers with 1 missile each. On the latest Block 5 modification, none of whose boats have yet been built, 4 launchers are planned for 6 missiles each. The main variant of Tomahawk cruise missiles for the new submarine is considered the latest modification of this missile, BGM-109 Tomahawk Block 4, which allows redirection of the missile in flight. The missile also has the capability to the barge while waiting for attack orders, which greatly increases the flexibility of this weapon system. All Virginia submarines are equipped with 4 533mm torpedo tubes or 26 Mk48 ADVCAP Mod 6 torpedoes. The Gould Mark 48 torpedoes are designed to engage surface targets and fast submarines. They use both active and passive homing systems. These torpedoes are also equipped with a multiple attack system, which is used when the target is lost. The torpedo searches, capture, and attack the target independently. The torpedo has a range of up to 23 miles at 55 knots or up to 30 miles at 40 knots. The maximum depth of immersion is 800 meters. For submarines, it's also envisaged to use harpoon missiles instead of torpedoes. This small-sized missile has subsonic flight speed, a fusing warhead of 500 pounds, maximum firing range depends on the carrier, missile modification, and target designation, and ranges from 56 to 137 miles. To effectively accomplish the anti-submarine mission, the Virginia submarines are equipped with a powerful sonar system. The Virginia hydroacoustic armament includes the AN/BQQ-10 sonar system, which was tested on the Seawolf. However, this decision led to some difficulties. Virginia had a much smaller hull diameter than the Seawolf's 10.4 meters instead of 12.9 meters, a difference of 2.5 meters, which meant the forward end had to be bigger. Seawolf had to give up its broad aperture onboard hydroacoustic antennas, AN/BQG-5D, in favor of the lightweight AN/BQG-5A. The requirement to use Virginia submarines in shallow water areas where mine threat is significantly greater necessitated further improvements in active hydroacoustic surveillance. The architectural appearance of Virginia submarines reflected this in the appearance of a prominent chin in the forward end, which housed a new antenna. With its high resolution, this antenna not only allows the submarine to maneuver confidently near the uneven ground, but also to search for moored mines planted above ground. The capabilities of the antenna placed on the chin are complemented by the antenna placed in the bow of the fence to search for mines in the water column. To provide discreet boarding of anti-subversive groups on the occupied coastline, the Virginia submarine was equipped with a 9-seater lock chamber, providing access and accommodation for divers and fighters of special forces when submerged. For the first time in the world, the submarine has no traditional periscope. Instead of it, there's a multifunctional telescopic mast that does not penetrate the rugged hull. It's equipped with a TV camera that transmits images via fiber optic cable to the screen in the central post, radio electronic reconnaissance and communication antennas, and an infrared surveillance sensor. The infrared laser is used as a rangefinder. Now let's ask ourselves a question. Was the replacement of expensive Seawolf submarines with cheaper Virginia submarines justified? After all, the Russian Navy is reborn and poses not less but more of a threat than the Soviet Navy. In addition, it was not possible to meet the cost requirements for Virginia submarines. In December 1996, the cost of the submarines of this type was set as follows. The lead submarine at $3.272 billion, the second at $2.543 billion, the third at $2.093 billion, and the fourth at $2.112 billion. But at roughly the same cost as the Seawolf submarine, the Virginia-class submarine has 2/3 of the Seawolf's boat's ammunition and a torpedo salvo capacity of 50% of the Seawolf salvo. In addition, the Virginia-class boats are less adapted to Arctic operations and have shallower depths. There are also issues with the quality of construction. There are a lot of pictures showing that a special sonar coating, which secures the stealth of the boat, is falling off. In 2019, a scandal erupted over this coating. A senior engineer from the Huntington Ingalls plant published information that the coating was substandard. Quality certificates were forged, and the company was not licensed to install the coating. It turned out later that this had been known since 2007, but the boats were still under construction. Not for nothing, the national interest citing the former Chief of Staff of the U.S. Navy, Brian Howes, writes that the boats have already exhausted their modernization resource and the construction of new submarines should be started. In general, it looks like American taxpayers will have to shell out dozens of billions of dollars more. What do you think of the Virginia submarines? Are they the most advanced and dangerous in the world? Or is it a crude project that'll take tens of billions of dollars more to create a truly formidable submarine weapon? Write in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel to keep abreast of new and problematic weapons.